reading last, especially when, you know, we're just coming out of your birthday. So I apologize for the delay, the major delay with your reading, okay? I hope you can forgive me, and I hope the reading is still helpful for many of you as you navigate the month of November. I feel like the keyword, the theme for this month is it's a two-way street. Everything is a two-way street. Relationships, work, it's an equal exchange of energy. Whatever we put in is what we're going to get out. If we choose to coast, we're going to shortchange ourselves, you know, by the end of the day or at the end of our lives. Or if we choose to take it easy and just coast and not put our all into something, we're going to start to see that one thing, it's just never going to bear fruit. So I feel like for you, it's a two-way street. And then I'm also sensing as well, for many of you, there's this element here about, you know, trying to fit somebody into a mold that is not, that doesn't fit them. So it's almost like idealizing a situation, wanting this perfect ideal, and then nitpicking, like, you know, cherry picking and choosing items, people, situations to fit into that idyllic image. Even though it's clearly not working, I feel like you're still working hard at it. And I feel like that's going to end up with a little bit of disappointment, you know, come this month. Okay, so if you've been doing that, I'm sensing there's going to be some major eye-opening moments and some major disappointments coming through where the molds are going to break, mainly because it's restricting, it's confining, and it's not the right thing. Okay, so just be careful about that. I'm sensing for some of you too, it's almost like in the work front, I feel like you're working under somebody, or somebody is like always looking at you or looking at your work and appraising you. So it's like somebody who's measuring what you're doing or observing what you're doing, and then they take like notes. It could be mental notes, or it could be like physical notes. They're evaluating you, they're judging you, they're grading you. And so show them that you're working hard, okay? You can bluff it if you need to. Make sure you're constantly doing something, okay? So don't just sit back and, you know, chit-chat with coworkers or prevent coworkers from doing their work, because all of these things are being noted by that person. I feel like for some of you, that person is a darker skin, someone who's very stoic, like someone who's very quiet. They're very unassuming, but they're smart, and they're going to be looking at your progress. They're going to see if you're slacking off, and they're going to monitor everything, like obsessively monitor everything that you're doing. So you need to, you know, show them how serious you are about your job. You need to show them what you're doing. You need to, you know, keep running around, keep yourself busy so that it reflects well on your performance, because I feel like things that you're doing are being heavily, you know, noted. Okay, so that's just coming in as a warning, especially for those of you who are going through some type of preliminary training period or probationary period at your work, or you're doing a trial for something and somebody's really judging your performance. I'm also feeling as well when it comes to relationships, and going back to relationships, it's almost like I'm feeling, you know, there's something that you're dissatisfied with, okay? And instead of just admitting it to yourself, like, is this all? Is this the right relationship partner for me? Is this like the be-all and end-all? Am I going to be satisfied, content, 100% happy with this person? I feel like you have some doubts. I feel that you have some doubts. And I feel like these doubts are growing. It's like snowballing day by day. And I feel like you're still at a point where you're kind of like in self-denial. And you're just like, oh, it's fine. It'll work. You know, we'll get married and things will be better. Or we'll have children and then things will be better. Or we'll move in together and things are going to be better. Well, not really. Mainly because if we are in confined space with another person, like, you know, is sharing space, sharing living quarters, living together. And then on top of that, if we bring another child into the picture or another person into the picture, the relationship, it needs to be strong first. before it can withstand these important milestones. So I feel like there's some things that you need to be really honest with yourself about. There's some things that you're kind of starry-eyed, you're idealistic about, and I feel like deep down in the back of your mind, it's nagging at you. And this is the month where you need to set the record straight, where you need to, be a little bit more honest with yourself, I feel. And I feel like, the past few times that I've done readings for you, things are, it just feels like I'm being harsh, but I'm not. I feel like, there are a lot of things that you're kind of on the fence about. And there are a lot of things that you really need to be very, very decisive about. And this process about should I or shouldn't I, it's taking up so much of your time, and it's really preventing you from making any type of concrete actions. So I see a lot of, loss of momentum in this spread already. And so they're really telling you, where am I lying to myself? What do I need to do so that I can, just move ahead, so that I can be free, so I can be a lot more happy, so I can even start over. So I feel like there are major readjustments that you're afraid to make. And that's okay. We still have, another month of this year left in December. So hopefully things will change around or turn around for the better. And hopefully you will be inspired and you will feel like it's the right time to make this move, okay? So let me talk about this first. And it's something that needs to be discussed heavily, okay? This is a family here. So whenever we have multiple cards, court cards of the same suit, it's usually some type of a family situation, okay? So we have here Knight of Wands, somebody who's being very, very reckless, evasive with their responsibilities. They kind of go through life as an adrenaline junkie, act first, ask questions later. We have the Queen of Wands, which is like the matriarch of the family, somebody who's trying to settle down, trying to stabilize his or her life, trying to do the right thing, trying to take care of everybody. And then we also have here the Page of Wands, which is like a younger energy that's very attention-seeking, gets into trouble, evasive when it comes to responsibilities, and somebody who's not very truthful. There are some family issues creeping into the picture for this month. If you have family members that are fire signs, so Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, but either way, I feel like this is a family situation where he says this, she says this, and then we don't really know who to trust. And I also feel like for some of you, there is, it feels to me like there is either a patriarch or a matriarch at stake who's trying to decide, who has some money, and they're trying to decide, they might have inheritance, they might have physical property, like assets, cars, houses, land, stocks, bonds, and then they might have just actual physical money, and they're trying to decide among their children, who should I give this money to? And I feel like everyone is scrambling for this one person's attention. And this one person is thinking more about the younger generation. So for example, if it's a grandma that you're dealing with and you're just like, why did she just overlook me? Does she not like me? It's not because of that. It's because she's thinking more about the younger kids and whether or not they have enough. So I feel like there is this energy here about everybody scrambling for a fixed piece of the pie, and it can create a lot of tension in the relationships between the children. It can create a lot of tension in the relationship between that family dynamics. So I do see a lot of people in blended families dealing with step-parents, step-siblings, step-children, and they're misbehaving, right? But people are misbehaving, but it's almost like your role, because it's complicated, with blended families. Everyone's role is very, it's not clearly defined. So on the one hand, you feel like I should do this, I should, put these people in their place, but you feel like it's not really your place and you don't want to step on anybody's toes. And then likewise, You could be a father, dealing with rambunctious children. And I'm sensing there's also, movement, like wanting to change house, wanting to change location, wanting to do all of these things. But you might have, shared custody and you can't really make a move. So it's very frustrating. It's very family oriented. And the family unit is incredibly unstable. It seems like there are too many people involved, too many mothers, too many children, too many fathers, too much energy contained in a very, very small environment. Tempers are flaring, and I also feel as well, for those of you who are not dealing with this in terms of blended families, I feel like you're trying to change your location, but there are restrictions. So there, you could be locked into a lease. You might have roommates and they're not ready to move when you're ready to move. And so you're waiting on decisions. You're waiting on things to finalize. You're waiting for somebody to give you a green light. And there is movement happening. People moving in, people moving out. And there's logistical concerns that needs to be worked out when it comes to the housing situation. So already I'm seeing a lot of that. And I believe, I forgot the placement. I believe this was here, and then this was here.